and welcome back to my channel, and today we are doing the subreddit r/wedding shaming. This is one of my favorite subreddits to do, and let's just jump right in and see what we have today. Okay, so we must really love guns. Did we have to bring them to the wedding? Did they have to be a part of the wedding photo? Really? Like, where are we keeping them? I mean, the groom could put it in his pants, I guess. But where is the bride keeping that gun? I mean, really? This picture just makes me uncomfortable. Just very, very uncomfortable. Okay? I swear it's always something. My uncle is supposed to marry us. We get married in June. He just called me and told me that his aunt has cancer on his mom's side, and that they asked him if he can do the funeral. She's on hospice now, but he said that there is a chance he can't do our wedding. I've always wanted my uncle to do my wedding. I'm just so irritated and pissed off. It's just not, if it's not one thing, it's another. Somebody commented, they have to plan her funeral for the same day as your wedding? And then the person who posted said, she didn't even die yet. This is such a Bridezilla post. You're not worried about your great aunt, it sounds like. I mean, this person is definitely related to you in some way. You must not be very close to them, obviously, but still, they are related to you. She is about to die. Your uncle is obviously close to her. They want him to do her funeral when she does pass eventually. And there is no telling when she will pass. They don't know. He's saying it might happen around about the time of your wedding. He doesn't know. And he's just letting you know, hey, it's possible that I might not be able to do your wedding because I don't know when my aunt's going to pass away. Sorry. And he'll be grieving. He might not be able to do your wedding. I mean, it happens. The person that I wanted to marry my husband and I was not the person who ended up marrying my husband and I, and it was fine. It turned out all right. It's okay. Not everything can be exactly how you want it to be. All right. My BFF is getting married next summer, and I'm her maid of honor. Woohoo! We talked about this since we were children. Well, I feel like until her wedding is over, no one else can move on with their lives. Ooh, this doesn't sound good. My friend was the first one engaged in our friend group. However, everyone else is in the works of getting proposed to as well. Everyone else's boyfriends comes to me to talk about their rings. She's been engaged for just over 2 years. The problem is my friend and her mom? Is that mom? Or is that something else? Either way, feel like my friends and I need to wait and put our lives on hold until her wedding is over, i.e. no getting married before her, no having babies, no moving out of convenience for her. Along with this, my friend expects an extravagant bridal shower at her number 2 wedding venue of choice. The amount of people that are expected to come are considered a micro wedding at the venue. While it comes to being at her party and her money, her mom has asked me and the entire bridal party for money help and even told me to open up a credit card to help with her wedding planning. I'm in enough credit card debt from my year-long unpaid internship, and me and my boyfriend want to plan a wedding ourselves. Oh my goodness. I was not friends. I was not enough of a friend with anybody that I would put my life on hold for 2 years to be like, you know what? I love you enough that I would be willing to commit to this, to, be like, no, I won't get married. I won't move out. I won't have any children just for you. No, 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 no. No. I will cut you out of my life. I'm sorry. That is not a friend. Okay, we have a post. Pregnant Bridezilla kicks me out of her wedding because I was too young a month before the wedding. So did she not think you were too young before she asked you to be a part of the wedding? Alright, whatever. I wrote this in a rush, by the way. Okay, so I, 19, have 3 siblings. I'm the middle. And my second older sister, Nora, 24, fake name, by the way, who's getting married. Me and Nora were never close since she was an introvert while I was an extrovert. But she still asked if I could be one of her bridesmaids, which I said yes to. She had an older sister, Maria, 25, fake name also, be her maid of honor. When we went bridesmaid shopping, Nora was so picky, as if our opinions didn't matter. At the end of the dresses she wanted us to wear were low-key extremely ugly. It was a nude pink color, which made me look like I was in shapewear like Skims. It was almost $600, which they didn't have my size, so I was going to buy the one on display, and that was almost $700. Now understand, when we were dress shopping, I was a beginner nail tech in the hood, so I made like $1,200 a month, and most of that was on my rent, so your girl was broke, and I still bought the dress. I was going to keep the tag on so I could return it later on. Now, to everyone's shock, Nora said she was pregnant a couple weeks later, like, slay, but that's what happened next. So don't slay when she was 4 months pregnant, 1 month before the wedding. She came up to me and told me that I was getting kicked out of the wedding because I was too young. I was 19, I think that's old enough, and had a talk with me about the importance of me understanding. I tell her that she should have told me sooner since I already bought the things for the wedding. She ignored me, and that I should understand a pregnant bride. I hate it when people make one thing their whole boring personality. I tell my parents what happened, and they take her side by saying that she had a right to kick me out because I was too young, but they said they'll talk to her about it. I soon found out that she replaced me with my 16-year-old cousin. Like, girl, really? Kicking out a 19-year-old, but a high schooler as your bridesmaid? I haven't said anything about her yet, but like, if she does, I'll make an update. Yeah, that's kind of stupid. I mean, weddings do kind of make brides kind of short-sighted. I'm not saying every bride. And I definitely think that your sister was being a bridezilla. But also she's dealing with hormones that are raging through her body because she's 4 months pregnant. So I'm also not saying that she's 100% justified in this, saying that she's kicking you out of the bridal party, but then replacing you with your 16-year-old cousin, by saying that you're too young, but then replacing you with a 16-year-old who is younger than you, because that doesn't make any sense. So yeah, I don't understand this. But yeah. Is it wrong for me to be upset that 2 of my bridesmaids are pregnant and due the month of my wedding? I feel like I have no right to tell people they can't have kids for my one day and bend over backwards for both of these girls, and my feelings are hurt that they couldn't just be considerate of my one big day. They also dropped out of my bachelorette, and now all the other girls are forced to pay more money, which is completely unfair. Okay, you definitely knew these girls were pregnant when you asked them to be your bridesmaids, right? Right? You had to have known. You had to have known. And I mean, if you knew they were pregnant when you asked them to be your bridesmaids, then you also knew, or you had to have at least thought about when your wedding was gonna be. Can you not count? And babies don't adhere to a schedule. They come when they come. They can't help it. It's like women, I mean, we can be so just inconsiderate of one another. Sorry for the rant. I'm thinking of kicking my maid of honor out of the wedding and blocking her on everything. Ooh, why? I've been friends with her for over 25 years. Oh, Lord have mercy. I paid for her dress, and not once did she offer to reimburse me. 9 years ago, she used to color my hair for me all the time and charged me no more than $40. That's still a lot that's a lot. For 9 years... I asked her if she could color and trim it for me this past weekend. She wanted to charge me for $160 for all over color. I was floored and taken aback. I told her I was quoted for a high-end salon for cheaper than that. I said my FH, future husband, and I are paying for the entire wedding ourselves. I told her I just paid for her dress and I can't afford that right now. She has completely ignored all my messages. Am I being petty for wanting to tell her to go F herself and kick her out? I mean, I definitely think you need to talk to her about why just all of a sudden she's gone from charging you $40 to wanting to charge you $160 out of nowhere. That just doesn't happen. Like, something had to have happened. Like, that doesn't make sense. Something else is going on here. It has to. But no, I wouldn't just randomly block her without talking to her. No. Okay. I'm guessing read the wedding rules. The last list did not... Oh, redid. Okay. The wedding rules. The last list did not sound good. Does this one sound better? Okay. First rule, RSV on time. There will be a deadline on the invitations and wedding website. Okay, that's a fair enough rule. You need to know who's going to be there and, it being there on time so that you can make sure everything's adjusted. Makes sense. Okay, yeah. Second rule, tell your kids to be nice to all the kids at the wedding. Toddlers are exception because of brain development. Okay, the first part of that is not bad, but did the second part of that need to be on there? That is awful. No. Okay. Third, Do not wear white or ivory or cream. Steer clear of those colors, or even more so if lace is involved. You can wear your nice white lacy dress to any event of the year. Brides get 1 day to wear their nice white lacy wedding dress. Don't ruin it. I can totally get behind this, but you definitely need to include more colors like off-white, ecru, I don't know, any version of white. Just, you might need to add those in there. Somebody might be, but look, this is not, they didn't list this color. It's not the color that they listed, but it's still a white dress, just to cover your bases. All right. Fourth, do not wear black. This is not a funeral, and we will be out in the hot sun, so we do not want to increase your chance on a heat stroke. Okay, so like, I get that, but black can be a really nice dress, like just keeping it simple, nice and formal. They call it the little black dress for a reason. But like, I could understand not wanting it at your wedding, I suppose, unless your color, like one of your colors is black. I mean, obviously most grooms are wearing black, but I don't know. I mean, okay, fifth, just obey the dress code in general, which means do not wear black or any form of white, cream, or white, ivory, or cream. Yep, any form, yep. Do not wear any jeans with holes in them. Just don't wear jeans at all. How about that? Wear a semi-formal shirt, dress, pants are not required. I think you might need to reword that because that doesn't sound right. Wear a semi-formal shirt. Wear a semi-formal. Something is wrong with that right there. Wear a semi-formal shirt, dress, pants are not required. Wear a semi-formal shirt, period. Dress pants are not required. Yeah, I knew there was something wrong with that right there. Please dress as formal but comfortable as you can. Ladies, break out that sundress in your closet. Colors are coral and turquoise. Ooh, if you want to wear wedding coral colors. Okay. Those two colors are nice together. Okay. And the last one, no last minute change of plan. If you said you're going, unless it's a serious emergency or you're horribly contagiously ill, do not even think of canceling. Okay, I can get behind all of these rules. These are great rules, except for that little caveat in the second rule there, where toddlers are an exception because of brain development. Why did you have to add that? That did not have to be added. Other than that, I mean, I don't see. I mean, and you just really need to work on your grammar and your punctuation. But other than that, I mean, it's not a bad list. All right. Next post, she only wanted a wedding, not a marriage. I'm going to preface that this happened a few years ago. I was briefly involved in this mess and ran away quickly. Everything I learned about the events leading up to the wedding itself, was told to me by a friend who got suckered into being a bridesmaid. A friend of mine's friend was getting married. For a reason only she knows, she decided to have a really, really large wedding party. The only problem was she had only 2 friends. She was friends with my friends and just another girl. However, she had a dream. In order to acquire a ton of bridesmaids, she pressured her 2 friends to ask their friends to become bridesmaids. I got a pleading phone call from my friend. I had met the bride oh, over the summer at a barbecue. My friend told me that the bride had always dreamt of a grand wedding, but because she was shy, she didn't have any friends. My friend pleaded with me to step in and help out by being a bridesmaid. The bride had her heart set on having a glorious wedding with tons of bridesmaids, groomsmen, flower girls, the whole thing. After listening to this stuff, I caved. Biggest mistake ever. The young woman wanted to get all the bridesmaids together to try on dresses. She lived in Yonkers, a 2-hour train ride away from me. I'm in Manhattan. I schlep up there early on Saturday, 6 of us all together waiting for the bride. We get into her car. She takes us on a long, boring car trip where she goes on a ton of errands. Some of them are bridal related, some of them are not. Because we're all in her car, we're trapped. We have to go wherever she goes. Someone suggested lunch, but she insisted that there wasn't time to stop for lunch. We've been dragged to the dry cleaners, 3 different stores to look at wedding favors, and 2 garden places to look at plants. Not flowers for bouquets, plants. Eventually we end up at the bridal store. We try on dresses. She can't make up her mind. She hates everything. Then she drags us to the mall. By this time it's 4:30. I'm starting to feel awful. I'm coming down with a flu. The bride is wandering around Forever 21. The rest of us are trailing along. I ask her if she could drive me to the nearest train station as I'm not feeling well. I'm tired, exhausted, and I want to go home. I remind her that she had promised that we could stop for lunch. I wasn't going to remind her that she said she'd treat us all to lunch. I mentioned since I hadn't eaten, I wasn't feeling well. If we weren't going to stop and eat, I wanted to go home. She informs me that she wants to keep shopping. No lunch. There are sales to be had. I walk over to my friend, let her know that I'm leaving. I flag down a cab, get on the train, and go home. Crawl into bed and go to sleep with a fever. Before I leave, the bride informs me that she wants the bridesmaids to keep up with her every Saturday before the wedding. For a year. For what, I'm thinking? To keep her company while she does errands and visits florists, hogs people's times, promises to at least feed them and then forgets? No, I don't even know this person. I'm not going to give up every weekend to trail around someone I don't even know just to keep her company, along with 5 other people I don't know. I have better things to do with my time. Sunday, I'm in bed, feverish and feeling awful. Later, on Sunday night, I call up my friend and tell her to please let the bride know that I'm pulling out of the wedding party. I tell her that there's no way that I can devote every weekend for an entire year being dragged around Westchester. Fast forward 6 months, my friend tells me that the bride, who had promised to pay for the bridesmaids' dresses, the shoes, and the jewelry, she knew that most of the young women were grad students and didn't have a lot of disposable income, had reneged on the offer. The other women felt guilty and didn't want to let the bride down. They had been dragged around all over the country and fed into her whole sob story, so they paid for the clothing, etc., that they couldn't really afford. I found out later from my friend that the wedding and reception was a crap show. Everything the bride promised turned out to be lies. Gee, if she's gonna lie about one thing, she's gonna lie about everything else. No nice venue, awful food, you get the picture. After the wedding, she was supposed to move into her husband's apartment. She not only didn't give up her apartment, she never ever moved in. About a year later, she filed for divorce. It's quite possible that she only wanted a wedding and didn't care about the consequences of her actions. I know that my friend kept in sporadic touch with her. I think she was the only person who did. This is terrible. I've heard of women who get married just because they want the wedding. They don't want what comes after it. And that is the most terrible kind of person. A wedding is about marriage. It's not about that day. So People need to try to remember that. Hey girls, is it tacky for my future sister-in-law to get engaged 2 months before my wedding? I feel like she should have got engaged either months earlier or at this point just wait until after our wedding. Maybe I'm being too sensitive, but I feel like it's so close to our wedding that I really don't like the feeling like I'm sharing the spotlight in such a big time in my life. I feel like now my bridal and batch will now be talks about her engagement and her own wedding plans. Seriously. Everything is not about you. Goodness gracious. I wonder what you all think. I booked a hair and makeup artist based on her clear talent, decades of experience, excellent reviews, and popularity. But after I had a trial, I decided I didn't like her personality or how she talked, even though everyone else does. I just didn't click, and we have different lifestyles. I don't like her lifestyle. She's okay with not being married with children, and that doesn't sit well with me. She also wouldn't do contouring that I wanted because she said it wouldn't look good, but the makeup and hair that was done was otherwise really good. Also, she took too many days to reply to messages and emails. I mean, who is that busy for that? I have a desk job and I reply to everyone within an hour. But I just can't move past my senses. So a few days later, I canceled her, and my wedding is just before Christmas. I knew the 50% deposit was non-refundable when I booked, but I want my deposit back so I can put it towards someone else. She won't give me my deposit back because she said she's lost other opportunities, and my reason isn't good enough. Do you guys think she should refund me? Everyone is allowed to live their own lives. If some women don't want to get married, some women don't want to have children, and that's okay. You want to get married, you want to have children, you do that. But you don't get to tell someone else what they get to do with their lives and their bodies. And if you don't like what she did with your makeup, great. But if that is her policy that the deposit is non-refundable, there's nothing that you can do about it. So no, I don't think that she should refund you. Getting married next summer and just found out our best man's wife is pregnant and due around our wedding date. I don't care for her and purposely did not have her in the wedding. I feel like she did this on purpose to take the attention off me. I'm so mad. Yes. The best man's wife got pregnant on purpose just so she could have her baby around your wedding day. That's exactly what happened. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's what these women are out there doing. That's what they're doing. They're purposely planning to have babies around their friends or whoever's weddings just to ruin them. Mm-hmm. Because we can do that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We're good like that. We can plan getting pregnant. So stupid. So stupid. And that's the last one. If you like our bridezillas, because we very rarely get groomzillas and roasting these weddings, please like and subscribe and join me again another time. Thank you and have a good day.